You're listening to Article and Design Podcast, a podcast made with love for Filipino freelancers, small business owners, and digital agencies. I am your host, Margaret. I am a digital marketing strategist for over 8 years now, and I created Article and Design. Be part of our 1 million mission in transforming 1 million Filipinos to becoming a super freelancer and live the life and work they love. Join me as I sit down and discuss with our fellow freelancers and business owners about their process, their monumental screw-up, and the tips that they swear by to help you win in this freelance game forever. Hi everyone, Filipino freelancers and business owners. We are back with a brand new season. And I'm your host, Margaret ay kami nagbabalik pagkatapos ng 3 or 4 months na hiatus. So, apologies for a little bit of delay. Dapat bumalik na kami after 2 months. But, of course, I've been very busy with rebuilding the article and design community. And, of course, I have been focusing on my personal job or my personal work, which is as a digital marketing strategist. But then again, we have to reschedule some things. But eto na kami. Okay? We're back with season 4 and season 5 is already ongoing then, guys. So, yeah. I can't wait to start and open this new season of the Article and Design podcast. And yeah, if you've watched the trailer, we have a lot of things for you. We have fresh voices. And of course, we have some guests na nakilala nyo na sa ating webinar or sa group. Hindi tayo nagtitipid sa mga tips na ibibigay natin as always dito sa Article and Design kasi ang napaka-importante at the end of the day or at the end of every episode, we want you to have a takeaway na ma-apply nyo talaga right away after nyo nakinig sa episode na to. Alright, so without any further ado, let me open the brand new season of Article and Design podcast. This is episode number 34. Wow, we've come so far now. This is episode 34, and what are we going to talk about? In this episode, I'm going to discuss, siguro ito yung one of the top 3 questions that I get most of the time, especially coming from newbie freelancers or yung mga freelancers natin na wala pa silang masyadong system. How to price their services, what's the best pricing method to use, the payment platforms to use, invoicing terms, so paano po Margaret pag hindi kami binabayaran ng client, how to chase them, and ano bang gagawin namin pag hindi kami binabayaran on time. And of course, this is the most important thing, how can we save from international fees, Margaret? Kasi binigyan ako lang, ang siningil ko is $100, tapos yung nakuha ko lang, like, $90 or 80 plus. Ang laki naman ng bawas. Sayang din yun, di ba? And yes, and a lot of things that involves and revolves around pricing and yung mga pricing strategies and yung mga pricing transactions. I can't tackle each and every one of the issues, but this is what I can say. In this episode, I'm not going to focus about the pricing methods, all right, and how to price your services, yung mga ganun, because I have discussed it already thoroughly sa aking free webinar called Pricing Your Freelance Services. So if you haven't watched it yet, you can get access to it for free. Just go to articleanddesigncourses.com and look for the Pricing Your Freelance Services webinar. Okay, it's free. Just get access to that one kasi doon, and I discussed step by step yung mga pricing methods na pwede nyo magamit and pricing that works best for freelancers. Like for example, yung mga fixed rate versus hourly rate. Kailan mo siya gagamitin, and then kailan mo gagamitin yung mga value-based pricing. And of course, ang pinakamaganda, tinuruan ko kayo, paano yung performance metric pricing. Okay? So just go over to articleanddesigncourses.com if yun yung gusto nyo malaman about pricing, methods that work, and how to price your services. Okay, having said that, guys, this episode will not focus on that, but we will focus more on payment transactions dito sa episode na to, including payment platforms that I suggest for you to use, and payment terms, yung mga ganun. And of course, some best practices on how to earn more. I will give you 7 tips, best strategies that you can apply right away for you to earn more in your freelancing career. Or probably as a business owner, diba? Yung may mga small business kayo, then you can actually use these tips as well. So, let's get down to the business and listen to these 7 tips that I'm going to share. So, tip number 1, guys, is eto, lagi ito nakakalimutan lalo na yung mga bago. Take a deposit or yung mga upfront fees, okay, before doing any work. So take a payment or a deposit before doing any work. That's my tip number one. All right. Bakit? All freelancers at one time or another sa ating freelancing journey, na kapag tapos tayo ng project for that client, after nun yung client na yun, nawala. Okay? Nag-disappear na siya. Naging AWOL na siya without paying. Alright? So, I get this a lot then sa mga stories ng mga ating mga kapwa freelancers. And then ako, may story din ako. It's funny that I didn't experience this during my first years sa freelancing. So mostly kasi yung mga ganito, sa umpisa nila na-experience ito, yung hindi sila nagtitake ng deposit, tapos natapos na nila yung project, na hindi sila binayaran. But in my case, it was different because na-experience ko siya 4 years after ko sa freelancing. So probably I started like 2011, noong 2015. So, I completed the project, then hindi ako nabayaran. Margaret, ang tanga mo naman. 4 years ka na sa freelancing, tapos hindi ka pa nabayaran? Yes. Oo, kasi bakit? This was my mistake. I was so confident that I knew the client already, or personally, kasi kilala ko na yung client, kasi nakatrabaho ko na siya before. I've worked with him for a couple of times. So, ang ginawa ko nun, sabi ko, kilala ko naman siya, so I waived my yung mga deposit fees ko. And then, sabi ko, bayaran mo lang ko after the completion of the project, after I have sent you the project. So I was so confident, relaxed now. Kasi kilala ko naman, di ba? But it turned out, I never heard from him after nung na-complete ko na yung project. So, nabayaran naman niya ako dun sa software na ginamit ko, but hindi niya ako nabayaran talaga dun sa yung professional fee ko. Okay? So, he owed me at least $1,000 that time. So, I emailed him. So, I did my, parang follow-up emails and etc. But to no avail. Siguro mga around 2 weeks, yun. After 2 weeks, nag-reply siya sa akin. Sinabi naman niya na he's going to sort the invoices. But then again, guys, that was 2015 and 2021 na ngayon, I still got no payment from him. Even though medyo matagal na ako sa freelancing, don't be just because you have a relationship with this person, okay, regardless of your relationship, if kaibigan mo, kliyente mo siya, and whatsoever, you still have to follow your system. You need to follow yung non-negotiable mo, which is taking deposits every time you do any work. Okay? And for our newbie freelancers, I strongly suggest you do this. If hindi nyo pa ginagawa, please, this is my number one tip. You take deposits before doing any work. I hope that's clear. And huwag kayo matulad sa akin. Okay? Taking upfront fees when you're entering a client or freelancer relationship kasi, ang maganda doon is you're right off the bat talaga, pinuposition mo yung self mo sa that you're a professional freelancer, and then yung nandun na sa'yo yung floor. You are in the position of strength. So when you take deposit fees, alam niyo talaga, okay, this person is really serious with the meron siyang mga rules and everything that we have to follow. Okay? But you might ask then, sasabihin mo yung iba, lalo na sa mga bago natin. You might ask, Margaret, what if the client will say, I am not comfortable in paying you up front? Hindi naman kita kilala. Stranger ka. Bakit kita babayaran kagad? Baka akong takbuhan mo. Diba? Well, let me tell you this, guys. A good client will understand with, of course, some explanation and then assurance bakit mo siya ginagawa. Probably you can say it's a standard practice and this is an SOP. For you as an independent contractor, sasabihin mo na yung reasons mo bakit ganito yung system mo. So, a good client will understand that. But I had the same experience then, recently lang, that I explained to the client na, hey, this is the standard practice kasi ayaw doon niya magbayad nung mga SEO writing namin. So, I explained to him, ganito, ganyan. If you want to start, sabi ko, you can start with a small deposit, or a small project, and then see for yourself if you wanted to work with us. Parang ganun. Okay? Don't ever let them have you start a work without them paying you. Okay? So sabihin mo na lang na we can start with this, and then until you feel comfortable, then we can move on to the bigger project. Okay? So if a client is not keen on paying a deposit, kahit na explain mo bakit mo siya gagawin and it's a standard practice, then gusto niya na gawin mo muna yung trabaho bago siya magbayad in full, then I call that a client from hell. Okay? That's already a red flag. right? So you have to know your worth, guys. You have to know your value. By asking for a deposit, you show to your client that you are an experienced or probably a confident freelancer. Okay? And if you follow mo yung mga standard practices and yung mga legalities ng contracting. All right? So I hope that's clear. Never back down. Okay? So ganito, another question naman. Sabi, Margaret, what if like the writers, 500 or 300 word article, probably you're asking for $25 for that. Should I still take a deposit, Margaret? Half of the $25? Well, in this case, what I suggest, guys, ganito. If the amount is less than 100 or something, mas mababa pa siya, already ask the client for the full payment. Okay? Before you start any work. I encourage all freelancers to never ever work talaga without getting paid. Gaano pa kasimple yung gagawin mo, kahit one article lang yan. I'm really strong on this one. If less than $25 yung project mo or less than 100, you ask for the you ask for the full payment or 70% of it. Okay? Do not back down. I am so strong in this one. Tip number 1, take deposits before starting any work. So we now go to tip number 2 or best strategy number 2, which is, eto ginagawa ko to lagi. Bundle your services or create a tiered pricing. This is one way to actually earn more, guys. Okay, bakit ganito? This is part of your marketing strategy as a freelancer. Hey, do you want to become a super freelancer? A super freelancer is a highly paid, creative, happy, and globally competitive freelancer. If you want to become one, you can enroll in our Super Freelancers course, 21 Steps to Fast Track Your Freelancing Business. We will teach you how to create systems, automate some of your workload, and how to avoid the feast and famine situation of chasing clients after clients. So go to articleanddesigncourses.com and use the coupon code PODCASTFRIEND to get your 400 pesos discount. This is exclusive to our podcast listeners only. So see you there. One of the best strategies to earn more is actually through this one. So let's start with the bundled pricing muna. What does it mean? So if you are familiar with the term wholesale at saka yung mga retail prices, di ba? Bumibili tayo ng mga bulk na items, mas siya, di ba? Cheaper siya. Okay, so that's the wholesale price, yeah. So instead of like getting it for like 5 pesos, you only get it for 3 pesos. If you order more, if it's the bundled price, it's like 100 pieces of that instead of individual. So that's wholesale and retail prices. So how can you do that and apply that into your freelancing services? Ganito. For example, let's use parang a website developer. Most of the website developers medyo may background sila sa graphic design. Okay? So may mga graphic design skills din sila. It could be like in Adobe or like Figma or Canva whatsoever. So you can do something like this. This is what you can I can suggest. So you have to parang you were hired as a website developer. Or nakita mo na yung client is naghahanap din ng kanyang parang branding or logo, yung brand identity niya. And marunong ka doon. Okay? What you can do is, hey client, you know what? Instead of hiring someone else, why won't I give you this type of package, which is the bundled logo or brand identity plus website package. Okay? I'm just going to use some numbers here now. For example, you charge him for a 3-page website na $500. Tapos you charge $350 for the logo and the yung mga collaterals ng kanyang branding. So that's all in all $850. Okay? So sasabihin mo sa kanya, this is the price individually or separately, but if you hire me to do this for you, I could just give it to you for $700 for the bundled package of logo and website. Okay? So that in that way, the client doesn't need to hire somebody else to do the logo. Maganda din yun kasi ikaw yung website developer, ikaw na rin yung gumawa ng kanyang brand identity. Okay? It will work hand in hand dun sa website na gusto niya. So you try to package that one, use the bundled packages. And the next one is, this is one of my favorite then, tiered pricing. Ang maganda dito sa tiered pricing, guys, makikita ng client ang kagandahan ng mga ina-offer mo. What is a tiered pricing? Simply, para lang siyang menu. Okay, it's just like a menu. So let's use examples like, say, you're a website developer, no? So let's use an example of standard, premium, and enterprise na mga tiered or menu mo. So anong kasali din sa standard? Let's say standard is just like 3 to 5 pages of a website. Tapos, meron siyang mga booking options na contact form. Ganyan. Yung napakasimple lang, yung like corporate website lang siya. So let's say your pricing starts at 750. Okay? The next mo na tier is premium. So premium is just like 6 to 15 pages of the website. Tapos meron ka ng additional chatbot na ilalagay doon. And probably there's an option to pay you there through your website sa isang klase ng payment option lang. Parang isang, for example, consultation fee mo, pwedeng ilagay niyo doon. So, you start at $1,500. So that's for your second tier. Your third tier can be called like an enterprise. Okay, ano yung enterprise? It's just like the e-commerce website mo na. So, with up to 20 pages, sabihin mo ganun. And you starts at $3,000 na price. Okay? So that is the tiered pricing. So ang kagandahan yan, ipapalabas mo yung klase ng makukuha ng client per tier, per menu, ano yung na-offer mo na features and benefits per tier. In that way, makikita ng client, oy, parang mas maganda ko nandito ako sa premium kasi pwede ko magkaroon ng option for me to get paid online. Okay, since konti lang naman, half lang naman ng price, I'd go for the premium na lang. Okay, kasi mas may makukuha akong benefits for this one. Alright, so bundle your prices or use the tiered pricing, guys. That's one way to actually convince the client ano pa yung pwede mong mabigay sa kanila. That's tip number 2. Let's go to tip number 3. So, eto. If I'm not mistaken, wala ata ko pang kilala na freelancers na ginagawa ito talaga. Okay? Kasi hindi ko alam bakit eh. If you're not doing this, guys, try to incorporate this in your freelancing system right now or yung pricing system nyo. This is add a late charge fees, so mga late payments, or discounted fees for yung mga early payments or payment in full or payment in advance. Okay, what do you mean? Ganito. Like in my case, ang ginagawa ko kasi, like tayo na freelancers, some of the clients, hindi sila madaling katrabaho when it comes to bayaran na. Okay, ng bills. Okay, madali silang kausap, sa mga communication and etc., mga correspondence, but when it comes to paying the bills, medyo ang hirap-hirap nilang hagilapin. They're very elusive. So here's the tip that I can give to most freelancers who are not doing this yet. So you have to charge late fees for late payments. Okay? Margaret, paano namin gagawin yun? Ganito. Before anything else, bago mo ito i-charge, dapat naka-specify ito siya first thing pa lang sa contracts nyo. Okay? It should be specified there. If hindi man sa contract, dun sa deposit invoice na binigay mo, dapat nakalagay siya doon. Hindi siya in fine print, ha? Dapat crystal clear, explicit din na explain mo sa client na you are charging late fees, okay, for unpaid invoices or late invoices. Okay? You have to preface this beforehand. So yung mga ganitong bagay, guys, madali lang kasi ito ayusin when you're using an invoicing app. Okay? So how to charge late fees? You have two things on how to do that one. First, as I've said, gumamit ka ng invoicing app because most of the invoicing apps, meron silang ganito. It is a feature that you can use that you can automate the late payment fees. Like in my case, I use FreshBooks. Okay, so FreshBooks, meron silang automation na pag na-delay yung client, okay, sa pagbayad, automatic mag-charge siya ng late fees. So, you can check what invoicing app you're using and you can check ano yung mga pwedeng mabigay na features sa inyo ng invoicing app na yun. But then if you're not using an invoicing app or walang ganito sa invoicing app mo, what you can do is, if you don't get paid on time, ang gagawin mo ulit, magsisend ka ulit ng invoice, na bagong invoice that reflects your late payment charge ng mga fees. Okay? So kung if you wanted to do it manually, for example, nag-send ka ng invoice last week, then dun na niya dapat ng isang araw. So yung gagawin mo, magsisend ka ulit bukas ng bagong invoice reflecting yung, kunwari, 2 days nila na late payments. Ilan yung additional yung charge fees doon. Okay, so you can do that. That is also manually. But guys, I encourage, if you can do it automatically, then do it with invoicing apps. Okay, another question for that one regarding late payment fees. Margaret, how much late fees can I charge? Basic experience ko, actually, the standard practice is like around 10% to 20% per day. But in my case, I use 10% lang. Okay, I use 10% per day pag na-late sila sa payment nila. So, it's up to you. But I think that's the standard baseline for mga late fees charges. So, hindi naman lahat ng client ganun eh. Huli silang magbabayad. Meron din naman clients na, alam mo yun, gusto nila kagad bayaran na because they wanted to get it off their minds and they wanted you to really like give your full-on service sa kanila. Makapag-focus ka. So, there are clients who love to pay in full amount in advance. I do have a client like that and super nice na client. Diba? So, what you can do in this one is you also have to present an offer to client that if they pay in full amount, they can save an X amount to that one. Like in my case, I offer, when they pay in full in advance, I offer less $200 discount. Okay, say for example, it's a digital marketing plan. I provide 2,500 for the digital marketing plan. Then sabi ko, may option ako doon na nilagay sa invoice ko na if they wanted to pay full in advance instead of paying it in 3 terms, if they wanted to pay in full, this is only 2,300. So you can give that option din sa clients nyo guys para alam nyo yun, makikita naman nila na, hey, you will be rewarded din naman if you're a good payer. Alright? So yeah, that's tip number 3. You try to charge late fees or try to give a discount if the client pays in full. Number 4, okay, ito. Use payment platforms with lower transaction fees. This is one of the best payment strategies that you can actually use, guys, if you wanted to earn more as a freelancer. Bakit? Kasi ganito. Most of us already knew the payment beast na app, na tool na ginagamit natin ever since. When I started freelancing, ito talaga ginagamit ko eh. It's called PayPal. Okay? So, among this, yung PayPal actually, napansin ko lang ha, basic experience ko, is the most convenient, okay? Most convenient app, not only for freelancers like us, but also for clients overseas. Okay? PayPal is very convenient kasi most of the people merong PayPal eh, especially sa mga clients overseas or foreign clients. Ganun. So, however, the drawback here, hindi siya masyado tawag na to, freelancer friendly. Kasi bakit? Number 1, PayPal charges more because of lower exchange rate na meron sila. Okay? And aside from that, aside from the sender, yung client mo, paying a certain percentage of the money na transfer niya sa'yo, yung receiver or ikaw mismo as a freelancer is also charged, I don't know how many percent because of the pesos difference, okay, in the currency. So may conversion rate. So meron ng lower conversion exchange, meron pang payment sa sender, meron pang payment sa receiver. Okay? So, hi Filipino Freelancers, this is Margaret. I am a freelancer and a business owner. Let me tell you about a favorite tool I use to receive and send money overseas. I started to use this tool this year because of its lower fees than the other payment tools that I've been using. The tool is called Wise, or formerly known as TransferWise. Wise is an online account where you can send money abroad or get paid in other currencies. It is a lot cheaper than the other payment methods or platforms na nakasanayan natin, and there's no horror of your money being frozen or put on hold. It's a great payment tool sa tulad nating mga Filipino freelancers. For example, ako, as a freelancer, I live in Australia and I have a client in the UK. So what I do is I connect my Wise account in my invoicing app and I can receive the money in my currency fast and with lower fees. And as a business owner myself then, I send money to the freelancers in the Philippines and they don't get charged with ridiculous international fees. Most of all, it's free to create your Wise account. So you can open different currencies and can even order your own debit card and use that account to get paid or shop online sa mga tools na kailangan mo as a freelancer. Go to articleondesign.com/wise and learn more on how you can use this as a Filipino freelancer and save tons from international fees. After all, you've worked so hard and you deserve that money. So, paano gamitin ng Wise and paano mag-open ng Wise? Just go to articleondesign.com/wise and follow the steps in how you can use it now. This is actually a drawback of the PayPal. But the maganda sa PayPal, it's very instant. Okay, mabilis siya. And then, most of the people may ganito. But what I suggest, guys, is hindi na lang yung PayPal ngayon kasi yung player sa game. I found this out this year or last year. I found out this app or this tool or yung tinatawag na borderless account, which is called TransferWise. Or right now they changed their name into Wise. Okay, this is a really really great alternative to PayPal. So ano ba yung Wise, guys? So Wise is like ang tinatawag sa kanila is yun nga, borderless account. So transaction fees are mas mababa kaysa sa PayPal. Okay? And then, ang kagandahan nun, it is directed diretso sa bank mo. For example, I'm the client and I already use this, guys, ang Wise sa mga freelancers sa Philippines na binabayaran ko. So, you can use this type of mga payment platforms para mas tumaas yung yung kita mo. So, one thing I noticed is Wise. This is one of the best tools that I've used. Okay, and I suggest everyone to try this out. Okay, as a client and as a freelancer, yung Wise. So, guys, I'm not saying na don't use PayPal anymore because I still use PayPal kasi some of my recurring income is still connected to PayPal. Okay, and I don't want to bother yung mga clients ko na to change the payment authentication pa. Most of the one-off transactions ko and then yung mga new transactions that I have, I slowly moved them to Wise na. Because, of course, because it has a lower transaction fees talaga, mas nakakatipid talaga ako dun. So, by using that, we can earn more. If I found something pa, and I will let you know. Okay? I will let you know. So that's my tip number 4 is you use payment platforms with lower transaction fees. Okay? Maghanap kayo. Depende sa situation niya. And number 5, of course, my number 5 tip sa mga payment transactions in order for you to earn more is to create your effective payment system. If you're enrolled sa ating Super Freelancers course, may tinatawag tayong freelancing system. So dun sa freelancing system, tinuturo namin yung mga system na kailangan mong gawin from starting na paano ka nakakuha ng client, then pag-onboard ng client, pagbayad ng client, pag-nurture and take care mo ng client, and until sa matapos yung project, ano yung after-sales service mo sa client. So it goes the same dito. You need to create an effective payment system. What does it involve? It depends on your services, how you go about this. But the one that's working for the article and design agency part is gumagawa kami ng parang per chapter or per milestone ng mga payment system, yung mga bigger projects. What does it mean? So, milestone system is just like creating a step-by-step ng mga milestone para sa client, nakikita nila anong nangyayari and ikaw, alam mo anong i-deliver and before i-deliver to, eto dapat yung nabayaran na. Alright, so for example, let's continue with our website developer na example, diba? So, sabihin natin, pinili ng client kanina yung premium mo. So, let's say 3,000 yung napag-agree nyo na pricing. So, you're a website developer, you create a milestone payment, so 50% kaagad deposit na. Okay, ang ginawa mo dun sa invoice mo, okay, binayaran ka na niya. So, paano yung bayaran nung the rest of the 50%, which is the 1,500? So, after delivering milestone 1 or module 1, pwede mong gawin, you get another 500 before you proceed to this second module. Okay? And then so on and so forth. Another 500 and another yung final na. Before you deliver the whole project, then babayaran na yung final bill, which is $500. Then that completes your 3,000 na payment sa kanya or yung price mo. Okay? So you should create the type of payment system. Of course, it's included na yung mga contracts mo, invoicing system, apps mo, or yung mga deliverables mo, or yung mga softwares na kailangan niyang bilhin or kailangan mong bilhin. I won't go into details ano yung system mo because iba-iba yan per discipline natin as a freelancer. But I'm telling you right now that you have to create something similar sa ganun. Okay? Para in that way, makikita naman ng client ano yung binabayaran niya and bakit niya binabayaran to. Bakit ganito yung hinihingi mong presyo? And of course, yung expectation, masiset mo kaagad. Ano ba yung ina-expect ng client at this type of report, at this type of module or milestone na babayaran niya? Ano ba yung ina-expect na features na malalagay mo as a website developer? So I hope that makes sense. So create your own payment system. Kung kaya mong gawan ng parang simpleng visual guide lang, gagawin mo yon or a checklist na ibigay mo sa client mo din. Number 6 is, of course, you create recurring services. Ito yung ginagawa ko as a freelancer myself. Ito yung ginagawa ko talaga na until now. Yung mga clients ko, I still get a recurring income. Okay. So, kasi, what am I always suggesting this? Because yung problema minsan ng freelancer, there is what you call the feast and famine situation, di ba? Okay, minsan wala kang client. Okay, minsan naman may client ka. Minsan, alam mo yung tinatawag na masaganang buhay. Minsan naman, ano yun, tagtuyot talaga. Okay, so yun yung iniiwasan natin. And ito yung tinuturo ko lagi sa mga super freelancers ko. They need to create a stable, sustainable income dito sa kanilang freelancing. And one way to do that is to create a recurring services. Let's go with the website developer. What you can do as a recurring services is yung website care. Okay, if you are a website developer, meron tayong mga website care na pwedeng gawin, like backing up of the websites, or yung backup ng database niya, or security ng website niya, update kung if you're using WordPress, update yung mga plugins niya, or yung mga one-off lang na kailangan niya update every month sa website niya, you can also offer that and package that into a website care or a recurring service. And it's up to you. You could ask the client to pay for you monthly or annually. So that's one of the recurring service that you can do. For example, you're a graphic designer or a social media manager. What you can do then, pwede kang gumawa ng ganitong klase ng services is, for example, you create 100 pieces of branded motion graphics na mga post. And then you package that, sabihin natin $500 per 100, then i-deliver mo sa client every quarter. Then you're tasked to do that every quarter. In that case, kung hindi ka man makakuha ng client that time or umalis man yung isang mong client, in that case, you are expecting at least $500 per quarter. Okay? Because you have a recurring service. So it's up to you how you go about yung recurring service mod, but this is, I suggest, sa mga freelancers, this is also one way to price your services where you can earn more by creating a recurring service and giving you a recurring income. And last but not the least, guys, the final tip to change your pricing mindset. Okay? Ito kasi, pag once na tinap mo to, itong psychological or mental aspect mo, maapektuhan lahat eh. Okay? So, uunahin mo to actually dapat. Pero hinuli ko na lang kasi we tackled down yung mga basics and practical tips. But this is your mindset about pricing. Ganito lang kasimple. If you've been following me, lagi ko itong sinasabi eh. Okay? Sa lahat, sa kurso ko, sa webinars, and sa mga Facebook community natin. The best way actually guys to earn more is to change your mindset sa pricing. That, ganitong gagawin mo. You will think that you are transforming the lives of your clients. Okay? You are transforming the desires of these clients into reality. Ano ibig sabihin? You have to think of it this way. You are selling results. Okay? You are not merely selling your services. Hindi ka lang nagbebenta ng mobile responsive website. Kundi ang ginagawa mo, nagbebenta ka ng isang website na kung saan yung mga target audience ng client mo is makakabook sila seamlessly sa kanilang phones lang. Kasi nakita mo na yung traffic ng kliyente mo is mostly sa mobile. Pero lumalabas sila, ang bounce rate ang taas, lumalabas sila at a certain point and nag-fail lagi yung booking kasi hindi responsive yung website mo into mobile platforms. Okay? So, when you explain to the client na when we create your website into mobile responsive website, na lahat ng function and forms is sobrang galing niya and seamless niya when only using a mobile, then most of your clients will stay on your website and then will read more and book more on your website in an instant. So, mababawasan na yung churn rate nung client mo na umaalis kagad yung target audience niya kasi hindi nila man-navigate properly yung website niya kasi nga hindi mobile responsive. So, that is one of the transformation of events na binibenta mo. You are selling results. You are not selling only yung parang features ng mobile or mobile ng website, I mean. Okay? So, you have to change your mindset into, guys, as freelancers, we are not just mga workers. We are selling results. We are changing the lives of these business owners na tinutulungan natin. When you look at it this way, guys, when you start to change the conversation na nangyayari sa mind mo, the client will also realize the value you're giving sa kanya. And then maiisip niya, okay, si Margaret or si Julio is a very important asset sa business ko. Okay? Because Margaret will do this. Margaret will transform this type of event sa aking business. Okay? You are touching the desires ng client. Ano bang problema ng client? So, you are solving that. You are selling the results and not merely your services. So, parang nabasa ko to somewhere. I just forgot kung saan. But, yeah, this is not my original story. But, nung nabasa ko to, I totally agree with this. So, here's the story. Pag sumakit yung ngipin mo, di ba? Kunwari, masakit yung dito ko. So, you think of going to the dentist. Well, hopefully, hindi mo tatanggalin yung ngipin mo sa sarili mo. But you can also do that, diba, if that's a milk teeth. Ganun. Or I digress. So, ibig sabihin, pag masakit yung ngipin natin, so, iisipin natin magbubuk tayo sa dentist or pupunta tayo sa dentist. So, tatawag tayo. So, a dentist ganito, ganyan, masakit yung ngipin ko, punta ako bukas. Okay, papacheck ka. Sabi na dentist, anong problema natin? Masakit yung dito ko, yung sa dulo, yung molars ba yan, gano'n. So, masakit yung dito ka, dentist, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. And yeah, check yung dentist, gamitin niyo yung tools niya and everything, may x-ray na gagawin, etc. But then again, after nun, sasabihin niya, okay, we have to do this, and then stay ka muna for an hour, then, may gagawin tayo. Ganun. So, sabihin natin, siguro may tatanggalin dun sa ngipin mo. Diba? So, or bubunutan ka ng ngipin, I know. After an hour, okay, you felt relieved na. Oy, wow! It feels so good na. Okay? Thank you so much, doc. Na gumaling na ako. So, what am I trying to say in this one? So, when you went to the dentist, hindi mo naman tinanong ano yung brand ng tools niya. Hindi mo tinanong exactly ano yung mga gamit niya. Okay? Yung mga sophisticated tools na gagamitin for you to remove that pain, na mawala yung pain, yung sakit sa ngipin mo. Hindi mo yung tinanong eh. Your main concern is to elevate or to remove the pain or the excruciating sakit ng ngipin na nararamdaman mo. Okay? You went to the dentist to solve that. What I'm trying to say is when you convert that into the freelancing, yes, the codes na ginagamit mo, the templates, probably the builders, and all the tools na ginagamit mo sa website is important, okay? It's also important, but hindi talaga yun yung meat and potatoes na problema na sinasolve mo sa client. It's just like going back to the dentist, ikaw, ang main concern mo is mawala yung pain mo. Okay? You're not really after, anong brand ba yung ginamit, tinutusok-tusok mo sa ngipin ko? Okay? Not like that. So, that is why, sabi ko, ang mga freelancers, we're trying to solve the problem of the clients. We're trying to sell results. Yung desire talaga nila. And in that way, when you change your mindset, when you're giving results than services, alam mo talaga that you are a confident freelancer. Kung kaya mo i-solve yun, you are confident to price, you're confident to take deposits, you're confident to do this and to propose this to the client. Because you know for the fact na meron kang value talaga na ibibigay. Kasi meron kang results na pwedeng maibigay sa client. That's my 7 practical tips sa payment transaction strategies that you can use as a Filipino freelancer on how we can earn more. Okay? I'm just gonna have a quick summary. Ano yung 7 na yun? Number 1 is, of course, you take deposits, okay, before doing any work. Number 2 is you bundle your services or create a tiered pricing. Number 3 is, of course, you can add a late charge fees or discounted fees for early payments or yung payment in full, okay? Or in advance. And number 4 is you use payment platforms that has lower transaction fees, tulad ng Wise. Okay, number 5 is, of course, you create your effective payment system. Gagawa ka na nito in order for you to deliver to the client. Kung visual guide lang or checklist, mas maganda din para mas mabilis mabasa ng client. And number 6, guys, you create recurring services sa sarili mo as a freelancer. It is also a way of earning more. And number 7, not last but not the least, is of course you have to change your pricing mindset. That you are delivering results and not simply services. Okay? You are selling results and not selling your services. Alright. So I hope that will help you in earning more sa yung mga pricing strategies as a Filipino freelancer. Guys, these are the things na ginagawa ko. And until now, after almost a decade, I'm still here sa freelancing. I will see you in the next episode of the Article and Design podcast. It will be a very, very exciting season, guys, because I have a wonderful guest. And I can't wait for you to hear the stories and the tips na shinare nila. So that's all for me today. So please, if you like this episode, please leave a comment. What are your takeaways in this episode of the podcast? And this, also, if you have any suggestions on what other topics that you want to hear in this podcast, please leave in the comments below. And guys, please, if you are listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review to Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, please comment down below and say hi. Kung saan man kayo nakikinig and anong ginagawa nyo as a freelancer para malaman natin. All your comments, guys, and your appreciation sa ginagawa natin helps the Article and Design family. Okay? Because we do this for you, not for us. And we are here because of you. So please help us spread the Article and Design podcast by also sharing this to your community or to your profile. So thank you once again. This is Margaret, your host of the Article and Design podcast, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed this, please leave us a review on our Facebook page, Article and Design. Please also follow us on our YouTube channel called Article and Design for more tips on freelancing and business. And if you want to go to the next level, check out our courses at articleanddesigncourses.com. See ya!